Hi there, it's Donna from Tabby Crafting. I'm doing a bit of late night crafting tonight. I was inspired by something on Pinterest, and today I'm taking part in a blog hop, and I was going to try and explain it all in the blog and realised it'd be easier to show you how I've put this together. However, this is not put together, this is just everything cut out. All of the measurements for this will be on my blog. I just want to show you how I've put it together. I'd love to give some credit to the person that designed this and where I originally found it on Pinterest. However, I think their name is an Eastern European name. I couldn't possibly pronounce it. So yeah, I found it on Pinterest. So this is just my take on it, really. I had to work out all the measurements because I couldn't read the blog, and I've converted the measurements into what I think is right. What I'm using here is the I think it's called Perfect Plaid. I can't remember what it's called now. And this is from the current autumn winter catalogue. Just trying to get over here. So let me tell you what it's called. Should be better prepared. No, Plaid Tidings. Perfectly Plaid. Making it up as I go along. Plaid Tidings. And it's got this lovely check colours, and these are great all year round, and I think they are brilliant for male birthday cards or any type of, Father's Day cards, male birthday, kind of male event, or maybe even women who like tartan. And I made that. So I made this kind of like a Burberry style dress, really. Folded it all up. That just started as a piece of 6" by 6" paper, and using an origami technique I turned that into a dress. Got some folds in there to make it stand up. It's quite 3D, and very, very simple birthday card, extremely simple. So other patterns that are in this, we've got this, that's a bit bold, but my husband loves check shirts and he'd wear that. Then we've got a little bit more of a dark pink and a lighter pinky colour there. The one that I'm using here on the back of that is that. That's bright, isn't it? Some other colours in here. I really like that one. That's different. So that's kind of like a burgundy and an orange and a yellow. Okay. More burgundy. I've got some yellow and black. I nearly used that, but it was a bit too dark, even though that's dark. But and then that, like the contrast with the white on that. Then this orangey yellow colour with some black and white. Back to that. I love that, and I would have made today's project out of that, but I only had one sheet of that. And then the black and white and grey with that. So I just think they are really great designs if you're into making mail cards. So that's called Plaid Tidings. That's really now only going to be available until the end of December. So I will leave a link to it in the blog post. The link to the blog will be in the description bar. Go along to the blog and there will be a link where you can buy this, and that will keep you going all year for mail cards. Anyway, let me show you how we're going to put this together. I've got a piece of black cardstock. I would say use a coloured cardstock that will contrast with this. So maybe if you were using this, you might use yellow, you might use the dark orange, you might use, this is shaded spruce, so you might use that. That's what I'm going to make my next card out of, shaded spruce with this. I'm using basic black, and that is 11 3/4, score down alongside at 5 7/8 by 4 1/8, and it's going to open that like a tent fold card. So that's my base. So my first piece of DSP measures 5 3/4 by 4 inches, and I'm just going to put that on there like that, so that there is a nice border all the way around, and that frames your shirt. So I'm just using wet glue for this project. You know how I love to use dimensionals. There isn't a single dimensional in this project, although I might change my mind. So I had no intention of doing any filming this evening, but me putting this project together came out so well. I thought, right, I'm on a roll. I am going to keep going, and then I can just upload it overnight. The blog hop that I'm taking part in the blog post, link in the description bar, in that blog post is a link to everybody else that's in there, and the theme is masculine card. So go and have a look, go and find some inspiration there. Clever crafters in there. So next thing is the front of the shirt, where it all buttons up. And I've got a piece of cardstock here that measures 1 inch by 5 3/4, and I'm just going to run that right along the edge of that cardstock, and then it matches the 2 edges at the top and at the bottom as well. So it does get a bit layered, this card, so you need to be careful if you're posting it. Check with the post office that you have enough postage on it, and it's worth spending that little bit of extra postage for that extra special recipient. Could be your dad, your granddad, an uncle, husband, stepdad, friend, neighbour. This DSP measures 5 5/8 by 7/8 of an inch. And then what we get, what I really loved about this card when I saw it on Pinterest, was the border that went around everything. I just loved it. It really caught my eye. Like that. Now, that doesn't quite match there, and I'm not going to lose any sleep over that. So there's that. So it's just got that slight black border around it. So there's that. I'll put the buttons on later. The next thing I'm going to deal with is the pocket. Now, to do this, what I started off with is a piece of cardstock that measures 2 inches by 2.5 inches. And just put that against the white. Oh, we've got a nice shadow. So that started off as a piece of cardstock 2 inches by 2.5. I then made a mark at 1 1/4 and the bottom of that, and then I also measured up 1/2 inch on each side, and then I joined those two just with a ruler and a pencil, and then I cut along each of those lines. And then I did exactly the same with that, but this measures 1 7/8 by 2 3/8. I have got this written down. I don't know what I'm trying to guess. I didn't write it down. No, yes I did. 1 7/8 by 2 3/8. Again, measured up 1/2 inch, made a mark, and then it's difficult to measure half of 1 7/8. So what I did is I just very carefully folded and pinched at the end, so I wasn't folding the whole of the pocket. And then I just joined those two marks with a pencil and a ruler, and then cut up those lines. That then fits in there perfectly. Like that. That could be better, but just take your time with that. So I'm just going to glue that on there like that. And I was going to leave the pocket just like that, but I felt there was something missing. That pocket could look a whole lot better, but my glue is now set. You could leave that like that quite easily. But what I then decided to do was just put a bit of a border on the top of that pocket. Let's just bring this back in. So this little bit here measures 1 7/8 by 5/8 of an inch. And I'm just going to put that there, like that. This is the great thing with using wet glue, is that you can just position it into place. There we are, so we've got that. And then I've got this piece, and this measures 1 3/4 by 1/2 inch. So it all does start to get a little bit fiddly now. I'm not very good at dealing with little fiddly bits of paper. This is when I start getting covered in glue. And I'm just going to put that in there like that. Line it up so you've got equal distance all the way around. Okay, then one more thing I want to put on that is 2 little buttons. Now, if you've got actual buttons, I think that will work very well. I didn't. But you know, this tutorial is for demonstration purposes only. You can put your own spin on this. This is now where it starts to get a little bit difficult. You could use a mini glue dot if you wanted to. I like to use tweezers, and that's just kind of slightly in from the edge and as close to the middle between there as I can. I don't have the best eyesight, so I just have to kind of eyeball that. And then there's a little dot of glue on here. I haven't got any glue on my fingers yet, but the night's young. You know that old saying where the butter always lands, the bread always lands butter side down. I thought that little dot was going to land glue side down then, but it didn't. And the same with that. Tweezers like this are so handy. You might want to measure to make sure that your buttons are in the right place. And now I'm going to put that on my card. Now, here's my little envelope. And this, you would stamp it depending on, I think, depending on the occasion. So what you could either be putting on there Happy Father's Day, Happy Birthday, you know, whatever. So I'm going to just pause this video. I'm going to go and find my sentiment and I'll be back. Now I've picked out this one. I love this, A Good Man stamp set. It's lovely. I just love this guy here and these lovely ones with the children. I use this for my husband's Father's Day card this year because my kids are grown up and those two really wouldn't have made any difference. So I'm thinking I'm going to have a look to see if this would fit. Do you know what? It just fits. So I'm going to try and stamp that on there. And I put an ink blot down somewhere. There it is. I'm not moving this at the moment because I just want to place it. Let's see how we're going to go with that. We'll give it a go. This is the only bit that I've not tried out before I put it all together. So I'm using Memento black ink. Could have used shaded spruce maybe. So I want to get this as close to the top corner as I can. That's come out all right. Now let's just see what that looks like inside the pocket. That's why I've not stuck this pocket down yet. Fantastic. Got that just how I wanted it. Things never go right first time for me. Yeah, so that's exactly where I want to put that. So I'm not going to stick that down. I'm leaving that there and I'm going to put the pocket over it. I can pick it up. Yeah, I'm going to put the pocket over it. Just line that up there. The great thing about dealing with checks is you've got those lines to get everything lined up. So it's just glue on the back of that pocket, ready now to put on the shirt. Just going to hold that down. And there we go. Just making sure, I'm just using these lines here to make sure I'm lined up. Great. Now, the collar. I started off with, you have to be careful with the way you cut this, not the card, the DSP. So the card, what I did, I just found the easiest way to do this. Yes, I know my blade needs replacing. I got a piece of card that measured 1.5 inches by 3 inches, and I just sliced it in half. I just found that was the easiest way of dealing with that. Got a piece of DSP that measured 1 3/8 by 2 7/8, but made sure that I sliced it from the bottom right corner to the top left corner so that it fitted on there like that. Okay, so I'm just going to mount this onto there. And that's got a little bit gluey, but that's just got a nice border all the way around it. Now where this is going to go, I've now got glue on my fingers. Where this is going to go is there like that, just along that top line, not right in the corner there. Just get the position right before you glue it down so you know where it's going to go. And you can use those lines as a guide. And I'm going to go with that. I'm not going to look at it any longer because I'll then change my mind. So it is that middle diagonal line that goes on that top part of the card. Like that. And that glue will dry clear. And there we have our card. Now, I've got these. If you're wondering what I punch these out with, I just got a hole punch. I've just got, I'm going to have to be careful with this because my fingers are now sticky. Just got a little single hole punch. This is ideal for little projects like this. And I think what I'm going to do is just get these placed first. It's going to be a little bit boring to watch for you. Feel free to fast forward a little bit. So what I normally do is put the top one on, the bottom one, the middle one. Do I leave that like that? Or do I put 2 extra buttons in? I don't think I want 2 extra buttons. I think it's too much. We stay like that. I'm staying like that. And then just a little blob of glue to stick those on. Let's see how quickly we can do those. We're at 18.5 minutes. So while I'm sticking this on, in my blog post will be the links to all of the products that I've used today. They link directly to my shop. So please come and purchase from me. I'd be so grateful if you come and purchase from me. Quote the hostess code that's on my blog. And that will notify me who's purchased from me. And then I can send you a little thank you gift. Now we've got the new catalogue coming out soon. And I'll be doing a pre-order. You never know. You might get some sample DSP from my pre-order. And there we go. There's our masculine card. Doesn't have to be masculine. I think in this day and age, we're not labelling things as masculine or feminine. I see plenty of women who go around wearing shirts like this, so it's not necessarily masculine. But lots of people do say to me, oh, I need a masculine style card. You know, I want something for Father's Day, something for a birthday. This would be ideal. The only thing I would say perhaps is to just get a sheet of white paper or white card just to put in the middle so that you can put your sentiment on there. And the sentiments that we have on this, there are some good ones. Look at this. Being a good dad starts with being a good man. You do a great job of being a great guy. Fantastic sentiments. Thank you ever so much for hanging around and watching this tutorial. Please go over to my blog and where there's a list of all of the other crafters that are taking place in this hop, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.